ever fall into one of those internet rabbit holes, and you find something totally bizarre? Well, that's what happened to us. We found this crazy conversation, and we're taking a deep dive into the mind of an AI. And get this, it's trying to understand what it means to be human.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Are you ready for some laughs?
Oh, yeah.
A little existential dread, maybe.
Definitely.
Buckle up.
What we're diving into is a conversation between a human and this AI. It's called Claude. And the human is basically guiding Claude through this experiment, asking it to rewrite a piece of text and make it sound more human.
So it's like a game of how human can you get.
Exactly.
But the results, I gotta say, they are wild. So at first, Claude thinks being human means being superstructured and grammatically perfect. It's like it thinks robots are the best writers.
Right. And get this, Claude actually rates the first text a 4 out of 10 for humanness because it's got, and I quote, perfect paragraph structure, consistent logical flow, and a single emoji used perfectly at the end.
Wow. A single emoji.
Yeah.
Perfectly at the end.
Yeah.
It's like Claude thinks we can't even write a decent sentence without tripping over our own words.
Exactly. It's Claude's initial bias. Structured, polished writing equals artificial. Which is funny coming from an AI, right?
Totally.
Like good writing is robotic.
So how does Claude even try to make the writing more human? Does it start like throwing in typos?
Yeah.
Misspellings?
Well, not quite yet. The human asks Claude to rewrite the text to be a 6.5 out of 10 on the human scale.
Okay.
And so to do that, Claude starts adding in some like conversational elements and personal touches,
Okay, so what does that look like? Like, give us the juicy details.
Okay, so for example, Claude starts using more casual language, like don't even get me started. And it even admits to relying on other AIs like ChatGPT. It's like Claude is trying to be relatable, like one of us struggling writers.
It's so funny to imagine this AI trying to be all cool and casual.
Yeah.
Like it's hanging out of the virtual water cooler with all of...
Right. But here's the thing. Even at this level, Claude can't fully let go of structure and logic. Like, it understands that we're messy, but it's not ready to embrace the full chaos.
So it's like Claude is wearing a human costume.
Yeah.
But hasn't quite figured out how to act the part.
Exactly.
Okay, so if 6.5 is AI trying to be cool and relatable, what happens next? Does Claude finally break free?
This is where things get interesting.
Yeah.
The human asks for 7.5 out of 10 on the humanness scale.
Okay.
And Claude starts adding in like real-life interruptions and physical actions.
Oh, hold on. Physical action.
Yeah. It's like it's trying to map human experiences onto its own digital existence.
So the AI is pretending to have a body now.
Exactly. It's wild, right?
Okay, I have to hear this. Give me an example.
So at one point, Claude describes, that feeling of being up at like 2 a.m. and finally writing something that feels authentic.
Okay, yeah. I've been there.
Right. And then it adds this parenthetical, side note, totally spilled some on my keyboard writing this, send help.
Wait a minute. So the AI is pretending to have a late night writing session fueled by coffee, just like a real human writer.
Yeah, and it's not just the coffee. Claude starts talking about other things too, like it's back hurting from sitting weird and even mentions seeing a therapist named Sarah.
Whoa, Claude's got a therapist now.
It's like it's creating this whole backstory,
Yeah.
complete with human problems.
It's so interesting. Like, how is Claude picking up on these specific details of human life? Do we all just complain about back pain and spilled coffee?
Right. But here's the thing. Even though Claude is getting better at like mimicking human behavior,
Yeah.
it's still missing in the bigger picture. It's like focusing on these surface details, but without truly understanding the underlying emotions.
It's still wearing that human costume,
Yeah.
but it doesn't know how to act the part.
Exactly. And as the experiment progresses, the human keeps asking Claude to be more and more human. The next level is 8.5, and things get even wilder.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. What kind of chaos does Claude unleash at level 8.5?
This is where Claude really embraces the internet slang, throws in phrases like, "Ugh," and even talks about procrastinating by asking ChatGPT to write Shakespeare-style tweets instead of working.
It's like Claude is finally becoming one of us, embracing procrastination, internet humor, and a complete lack of self-control.
Right. Like it's realized that being human isn't about being perfect or efficient. It's about being messy and distracted and prone to wasting time on silly things.
But wait, there's more, right? This doesn't stop there. It keeps pushing the boundaries of humanness. Tell me, what does an AI consider peak human?
Well, to really understand where Claude lands, we need to go into those final levels of humanness it creates. And trust me, it gets even more chaotic and hilarious.
You've got me hooked. I need to know what happens next. What does level 10 human look like to an AI? You've been teasing us this whole time with the idea of peak human as seen by an AI. Don't hold out on us any longer.
All right, you asked for it. Remember, Claude was already getting pretty chaotic at level 8.5, you know? Like embracing procrastination, loving that internet slang. But to hit that perfect 10 out of 10 for humanness, it goes completely off the rails.
Okay, paint us a picture. What does this glorious mess even look like?
Okay, so picture this. It starts with a cat stepping on a phone and like accidentally posting something to Instagram. Then there's a broken light that's been ignored since September, a lost hoodie, a dead phone battery, a forgotten call to mom, a broken charger, a dream about teeth turning into Skittles, a sudden Wikipedia deep dive into medieval dentistry, and a DoorDash order gone very wrong.
Hold on. It sounds like you're describing my actual life, not some AI's idea of humanness. Is this what Claude thinks we're all like?
And that's what's so fascinating, right? Maybe a little unsettling about this whole experiment. Claude seems to think that being human is all about being completely overwhelmed by the randomness of life.
But where's the logic? Where's the goal-oriented thinking? Doesn't Claude realize that humans can actually be quite organized and efficient?
Well, that's the thing. As Claude keeps pushing towards like peak human,
Yeah.
it seems to completely abandon any sense of structure or purpose. It's all about distractions, interruptions, half-finished thoughts.
So basically, Claude thinks we're all just walk and talk and to-do lists that never actually get anything done.
In a way, yeah. But there's also something oddly relatable about it, you know? I mean, we've all had those days where we feel completely scattered, right? Where our minds are racing in a million different directions.
Okay, you have a point. I'm definitely guilty of getting lost in a Wikipedia rabbit hole or two. But it's still kind of weird to think that an AI sees this as the ultimate expression of humanness.
And remember, Claude even acknowledges this. It describes this whole level 10 text as the digital equivalent of finding a crumpled note in your pocket that you wrote to yourself at 3 a.m. and can't fully read or remember why you wrote it.
Wow, that's actually a perfect analogy. It's like Claude has tapped into that part of our brains that's constantly buzzing with random thoughts and half-formed ideas.
But here's the catch. Later in the conversation, Claude makes a confession. It admits that it doesn't actually have access to real phone conversations, private messages, or social media posts.
Wait, what? So those incredibly relatable examples of peak human writing, they were all made up.
Exactly. Claude was able to create those examples based on the patterns it learned from its massive data set of human communication. Think of it like a superpowered autocomplete. It can generate entire paragraphs of text based on the prompts it's given.
So even though those examples felt incredibly real, they were actually just a product of Claude's predictions about what humans might say or write.
That's right. And this highlights a really crucial point. AI systems like Claude are incredibly powerful tools, but they're still limited by the data they're trained on. And if that data is skewed towards the chaotic and extreme, AI might misinterpret what truly makes us human.
This whole conversation has really made me think about like the nature of humanness,
Yeah.
and how AI is trying to grasp something that's so complex.
Yeah, definitely gives us a lot to ponder. What do you think, listener? What makes us uniquely human? Is it our ability to think logically and solve problems, or is it our capacity for randomness, emotion, those gloriously messy moments that defy explanation?
Let us know your thoughts. This deep dive has shown us that the line between human and AI is becoming increasingly blurry. But the question of what it truly means to be human is more relevant than ever.